The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up? Good morning here. It's Victory Monday. The Cowboys have defeated the Giants 49-17. I already got the score wrong. 49-17. This is Cowboys Storyline. I am Nick Eatman, and it is time to talk about this game. Anything else you want to talk about? But I would imagine on Monday we can talk about this one. 888-855-2297. That's the number to call. You can text at 817-290-3296. We'll be getting your text messages. We've already got two callers on the line, so we're ready to do that here in just a second. But Cowboys, Giants, everything you wanted to see, I think for the most part, you got to see it. You wanted to take care of business early, jump out on them like they did. It was 28-0 at the half. It's hard to get much better than that. And then they rolled all the way 49-17, didn't kick any field goals, scored 7 touchdowns. Everybody on offense was able to get theirs, and Brandon Cooks, we can kind of silence that a little bit for now. It was one of his best games of his career. Michael Gallup made some catches, or a couple catches, big plays down the sideline, and the running backs, and nothing spectacular, but both of them were pretty impressive. So everything you want to see on offense, defense, they didn't. Took the ball away. Deron Bland gets a pick. I mean, other than Micah Parsons not having a sack, and I guess we'll talk about that, but for the most part, everybody that you wanted to see do their job, and they did, and the home crowd did their job, and they've won 12 in a row. So, 89-17. That's the score against the Giants this year. They can just take that one with them. 89-17. 2 blowouts. That's the largest margin of victory over one team in a season ever. I think it was 60-something over Philly several years ago, but back in the 60s, actually. But 89-17, huge, difference there for the Cowboys over the Giants. Couple of 40 burgers on them. All right, let's talk about it. Let's go to the phone lines. Ronnie in New Jersey probably knows a lot of Giants fans. Ronnie in New Jersey, what's up?
Hey, good morning, Nick.
Morning.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Happy Victory Monday. I'm thrilled, man. This was I thought we were gonna blow them out just like we did. I thought it was gonna be a little worse. I don't know how we gave up 17 points. The one thing I was gonna say, Nick, is McCarthy listening to your show? Because it's starting to seem like it. Every point that everybody's
call in.
Bringing up.
888-855-2297, Coach.
He's got to have somebody scouting your show or something, because every point that was brought up this week, you brought up and the fans were bringing up about, let's get Brandon Cooks involved. The guy's getting open. He got him involved. And everybody got the ball. The tight end still got the ball. The CD Lamb still went off. So that's what everybody's been complaining about. I know he said on one of his press conferences, this is not fantasy football. It seemed like it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
sure would be nice to have those guys on your team, right? If you said I have Dak, CD, and Cooks, I bet you didn't lose. Yeah.
I mean, I imagine the people that play. I don't play fantasy, but I just love watching the game, and I love the way they played yesterday. This was a team that, like I said, we should have blown out. And I'm just glad that every point that was brought up, even Terrence Steele getting a little bit of help every once in a while, that was pretty good. So, and like I said the other day, last week, Tyron Smith, man, keep on doing what you're doing. Don't let Tyron Smith get on that practice field. Have him do the walkthroughs. Keep the guy in bed, man. Let him keep on getting healthy. And let the other guys practice. He's looking good. He looks great. Yeah. I mean, you saw these 2 games, Nick? He looks amazing.
Yeah.
But, let me get off the phone.
Right.
I know you got so many callers. Thanks for taking my call, Nick, and go Cowboys.
All right. Thanks, Ronnie. Good stuff. No, I don't. Mike McCarthy, I doubt, watches the show. But the thing is that this is, like we say it all the time, it's a fan show. You guys, talk to each other. You guys tweet at each other. You watch other shows. You have the pulse of what's going on. And And I guarantee you, he didn't watch this show, but he knows what the narrative is. He gets the questions from the media, and the same guys that are asking these questions are the ones that kind of fueling this narrative about what's up with Brandon Cooks, what's up with whoever, Michael Gallup. But I mean, it's hard, and today it'll probably be Micah Parsons, or what's up with him? I mean, he didn't have a sack in that last game, and and he obviously is frustrated about it or about something. I don't know if it's that, but there's definitely something there going on. So, but he gets a lot of attention, and when he gets attention, the other guys get a lot of sacks. It happened in the first game. I think they had 7 sacks against the Giants, and Micah had 1. This game, 5 sacks. So they seem like they make an effort to not get Micah Parsons to the quarterback, but they kind of sacrifice something there, and the other guys are getting there and getting home. All right, let's go to Joe in Stamford, Texas. Joe, what's up?
Morning, my friend. Great Monday. Happy to talk to you.
How are you doing?
Well, I didn't call till the end of last week, and that was because of how that game ended up. It's a lot easier to be in the mood to talk about it whenever it was like this.
I hear you.
So, everybody's going to talk about the offense and all the good stuff that happened. There are a few things that I saw that are going to be important moving forward for a lot tougher competition that I'm encouraged about. Rico Dowdle, to me, is just I don't know whether it's that Pollard has lost a step, but I know that Rico Dowdle has a step on him. Mm-hmm. And I'm very encouraged with how he looked. And in my opinion, he should be getting, if not half of the touches, more than half of the touches at running back. I'm very encouraged with how he looked. Mozzie Smith, I watched him specifically a bunch yesterday. He has taken strides over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He looked a lot better in the run, made individual plays for tackles that he was not making at the beginning of the season. Super excited about that. Mike Parsons still. I think that he's just getting tired of getting double teamed. People are just scheming for him, and he is getting double teamed. And it's tough to be double teams. It's tough to be triple teams. When people game plan for you, it's tough. And he's, in order for him to get his stats now, he's going to have to figure out, and Dan's going to have to figure out a way to scheme him to where he's not going to be getting so much attention. I don't know how to do it. But, and you can see it. I watched that the whole game. He was super frustrated. There are plays that he could have made, I feel like, that he didn't make yesterday because of how he had been getting double-teamed on other plays. And I think that's probably part of the reason why he was out there longer than he should have been, because he's like, hey, I need to get mine, which, frankly, is a little bit of a selfish attitude. But I can't say I blame him because – he feels like he needs his stats too, and I understand that. But, we need to make him understand that he is what's making all this other stuff happen.
Yeah, he's going to have to understand that on his own. He has to figure that out. It's just if that's it. Let me call. Thanks for the call, Joe. As always, thank you. I kind of hesitate to say what the problem is, with him. But I know he tweeted something kind of cryptic, and you could tell. And he left the locker room really quick yesterday. Didn't talk to the media, and I'm sure he'll have his podcast on. I don't know what day it is, Tuesday maybe. He'll have his podcast, and maybe he's got things to say there. But he's got to understand that. But I don't know if this is not new. This is his third season now. And also think about these games against the Giants. These games, the Giants are letting him. They're making sure he doesn't go off. Earlier this year, they gave up 7 sacks. He only had 1 of them. The other guys had a huge game. I know week 3 of last year against the Giants, he did not get a sack. Tank got 3. They had several in that game. So it seems like the Giants make sure that Micah Parsons is going to get plenty of attention, and they're okay sacrificing the other guys. And so that's why I think this is going to be a cycle. He's always going to get attention. But if the other guys on the flip side can do their thing, it'll only be better for him. And they did. They did that yesterday. I mean, those guys, Sam Williams, we saw Dorrance Armstrong, I think, get a sack. I mean, they had 5 sacks in the game. So, I mean, I got the stats here. But yeah, those guys, I mean, they have to. Dante Fowler, DeMarcus Lawrence got one. Gallimore from the inside, Sam Williams, Armstrong on the outside. That's what they have to do. That's if Micah's not getting, the sacks, then Tank has to get some, and Fowler and Williams, and that's probably part of the frustration too. You got 5 real pass rushers on this team, and 4 of them got sacks. So. And he's getting held every play, and I know he's frustrated by that. But you would like to see him, have a different approach there, and get excited for the fact that the defense dominated and the defense got pressure, and he's the catalyst of it all. So hopefully he'll get that, understand that. You're right, Mozzie had a couple of good tackles, and he is starting to come on a little bit. And Rico, yesterday 15 carries for Pollard, 12 for Rico. I thought there was a couple of times in the game where Rico helped them get down there. That first drive where they didn't score, I thought that was odd that they had first and goal at the 5. And the reason was because of a couple of nice runs by Rico, and they pull him out of the game, and they run Pollard a couple of times, and they don't make it. And, that was alarming, honestly. But he ends up with 12 carries for 79 yards, 6.6 carry. And I'm fine with this right there. I'm fine with that. If they want to go Pollard at 15 and Rico at 12, let's don't get carried away now. I mean, we're seeing it right now. Everyone wanted Pollard to be the starter over Zeke. And now Pollard is the starter, and it's like he's lost a step. He hasn't lost a step. It's just a different – when you're the starter, it's different because you're not only are you getting these tough inside runs, you're taking more hits on when pass blocking. You're just out there a little bit more, and the wear and tear, it wears on him. So, if you don't try to make Rico the starter, and now the same thing's going to happen. It is what it is right here. I think it's fine, but I do think less carries was probably better for Pollard. All right, let's go to Brian in Kansas City.
Hey, good morning, Nick.
How are you? Good morning.
Oh boy, these are easy days to call in.
Yep.
You just saying about Pollard having to do the pass pro that Zeke used to do well, and I saw. You're going to remember. You have a steel trap memory. You'll remember exactly when this was, but we're somewhere inside our own 10, and it's a bomb to Cooks, who catches it around the 50, and boy, did he pick up. I don't know if it was a blitzer or just a free, somebody got loose, but, I mean,
Pollard.
he just stepped up and picked somebody up, and just got clobbered.
Yeah, that's what I love about Pollard. He's not afraid of anything. I mean, that's the thing. He's not a big guy, but he thinks he's Jerome Bettis running the football, and he's not. But, I mean, and you can get in trouble with that kind of stuff. But, I mean, he's pretty fearless, and you're right. I didn't see that. We're kind of on the opposite end of the press box. I know the play you're talking about because it was a big play in the game, I thought, to kind of change momentum a little bit and get them going. But yeah, I didn't actually see that block, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was really something. On the TV broadcast, it was just before the camera moved to Cooks, and I caught it. Man, he looked like he just got clobbered, but he stopped whoever it was. So, the last caller said, I don't know if it was Joe or if it was the first guy, but somebody said that Mozzie's playing better. I hope that's the case. I don't know how many times we've said it on the show. One of the frustrations with not trading anybody mid-season is probably coming from the fact that the rookie class has been almost a no-show. And, I hope I don't analyze football for a living, so Mozzie plays one of those positions where he's not going to get a lot of stats.
Right.
Playing well in the run game is what we got him for. So hopefully that's true, and I hope he's doing better. And then I had an old Cowboy, maybe if you have a story about him, guy that was kind of a troubled guy when he was playing and turned his life around after he got out of the NFL, Hollywood Henderson.
Okay.
And I'll let you talk on that. Have a good one, man.
All right, thank you. I don't have a ton of stories about Hollywood Henderson, not a player that I covered. I do know this, though. I mean, he was one of. I hope I'm saying this right. I think he won the lottery twice. I think he's won the Texas State lottery 2 different times. Obviously, he's a player. You can't play. You can't win if you don't play. But I think we're talking like big winners here, and so that's probably helping his life. That helps turn around things. I would imagine. Maybe not. His name did come up a couple of weeks ago when you see Sam Williams out at the gunner spot, which he did again yesterday. You know, he's got that speed. It just looks weird. You don't see a 54 out there in the gutter spot. And not that Hollywood did that, but he did return a punt for a touchdown. I've seen the highlight. It was a punt return and where it was like off a reverse. He also had an interception for a touchdown and dunked the ball through the goalpost. So freak athlete. I don't know a whole lot about his story. I know he did. Yeah, he was troubled and controversial at times and all that. We tried to do a Deep Blue documentary on him, and our price tag to do that didn't meet his, and typically we don't really do anything. We don't really pay for that. Usually the player's like, yeah, sure, I would love to do that, but he wanted some money there. But he's won the lottery twice. I thought it would be fine. It would be a great story. I would like to know more about that Hollywood Henderson. I really don't know a ton about that. Mozzie Smith, going back to what you said about Mozzie, you're right. Those guys on the interior, sometimes you don't always see what they're asked to do, and it's hard to kind of grade them unless you really know the game ins and outs. I mean, you see the guy making play or he doesn't. But here's the thing for me, that there's been some 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, goal line plays that he's not out there, and that's where I don't understand. I mean, if you're drafted 26th overall, first round, I would think you would be ready to play to the point where you can stop the run on a play like that. And he hadn't always been in the game, so he was in the game a lot more yesterday. That's an encouraging side. We saw some plays from him. Another encouraging thing. So just keep getting better, get better with more reps, and I think he'll be fine. All right, Anthony in Miami is our next caller. Anthony,
what's up, Nick?
What's up?
How you doing?
What's up, man?
Doing?
You gonna stir up some controversy today? What do you got?
Nah, man. I bring it, man. I told you I love you, man. You been hanging with the boys now, y'all. You in there, man.
Yeah.
You in there with my peeps, man. But check this out. I got 2 blasts from the past wide receivers for you.
All right.
Mike Sherrard and Jimmy Smith.
Mike, yeah, boy. Both of them did more of their damage with other teams. Obviously, Jimmy Smith did. Mike Sherrard, Mike Sherrard was going to be a good player. I think he broke his leg, and I think the first or second year, and then that just kind of he didn't recover in time, and I think the Cowboys decided to move on, and he played a little bit with the 49ers. Because he played in that game. The Cowboys beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship in '92. He was on the other side with Rice and Taylor. He was in there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but Jimmy Smith, I mean, Hall of Famer, I believe, right? I mean, he should be. He will be if he's not.
Should be a Hall of Famer.
But
Tennessee.
Another one of those guys got hurt first year with the Cowboys, and they just kind of moved on, and then he bounced around a little bit, and then goes to Jacksonville, and I think their all-time leading receiver.
Yep, guy with Keenan McCardle, and them boys started something, didn't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Okay, on this game, man, you know what was crazy? I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, let's get this thing over with, because I know right at the third quarter, they're going to switch. They have 2 networks or whatever, switch games. And here goes Mr. Dabo. I'm trying to show sympathy to the team, to the Giants. This man challenges, and the referees entertain this foolishness at the beginning of the game. You know what I said right after that? Man, beat the brakes off these fools for this ignorance, man. Why would you do that, bro? We're trying to help you out. You know what I'm saying? You challenge something. I knew they were going to get blasted at that point. I thought the Cowboys would have a slight letdown. I had it somewhere around like 27-6. I feel like we didn't, we wasn't going to, let's get out of here healthy or whatnot. But, for him to do that, man, it was just funny. The Cowboys got some things to clean up, man.
Yeah.
We really got to You go from one penalty, I'm proud of them at halftime, and then, come on, man, you open the floodgates with penalties, man, in the third and fourth quarter. So we got to clean that up, man. But I'm proud of my boy Dak. You know how I feel about him. So I'm proud of the team, you know what I'm saying? So let's on to the next, man. We got to keep this thing going.
All right.
So next week, Nick.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Anthony, for the call. Good stuff. Here's the thing about the Brian Daboll play, and I don't know what happened there. I mean, I was actually watching from the sideline to see if they were going to challenge this. I was looking for him, and he throws the red flag. So I think, and this is something that Derek and I talked about, that he might not have gotten a good look, or the people upstairs might not have gotten that look yet that they wanted to see, because it was pretty clear once you saw it. But you don't always see it. You don't always see it right away. Cowboys are going to snap the ball kind of quickly. And so I think he looked at it like, man, I mean, the ball pops out. Maybe it's moving when it pops out, and what a huge play that would be. So I don't think anyone could have seen the play and go, you know what, let's do it. I think it was one of those things like, hey, we might as well just throw it. And then by the time they threw the flag, and then they look at it and they go, oh, man, coach, he's down. So by that time, you've already thrown it. So then they're like, wait a second, I don't want to challenge anymore, but you already threw the flag. And so I don't know what all happened there, but it makes me think that he had to just throw it because just to see, because they don't have the good look, which means it's a flawed system. If that's the case, where the guys in the booth don't have the right look, then what are we doing here? What are we challenging for? So, all right. Let's move on to the next caller. We got Sebastian in Savannah, Georgia. Sebastian, what's up?
Good morning. Shout out to Chris Beam and all the fans, guys. I hope you're doing well today,
right.
Obviously. Hey, let me ask you a question. Where is the Super Bowl this year?
Vegas.
Oh, Dak might need to update his resume because he has been dealing in these games. I mean, the kid's balling at an MVP level. I'm loving every minute of it.
I'm so glad I knew the answer to that, because I played right into your joke. Yeah, because if I would have said I don't know, that would have been funny. So yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's good. He is.
And to the previous couple callers as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Mozzie Smith and the draft class. This draft class as a whole has been getting a lot of flack. They all contributed to that game. Yes, Schoonmaker had the drop, but he had that key block on Feedy getting that touchdown.
He did.
And Mozzie Smith kept him in that end zone. That should have been a safety. He got out. I don't know how they said the ball was out of there. He was in that end zone when Mozzie Smith had him. Mozzie cut through there, and he did it on several occasions. But when I think Hankins and the other tackles, they're playing so well, it's hard to get Mozzie in there.
Yeah.
Because I did see several times he's not on the field. And I'll hang up and listen, man.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good game.
Thanks, Sebastian. We said this before. I mean, it's not like Gallimore and Chauncey Golston, and we're talking about third-round picks. And Hankins has been, he's an established vet. He's been around as well. I mean, when you think about, Junior Fehoko, people kind of forget he was drafted. I mean, he can't get on the field. At all right now. It's he has he's just got a lot of guys ahead of him. So I'd like to see him play a little bit too if he could, but it's just not happening right now for him. And so that kind of speaks to my point about Mozzie. It's like it's hard to get on the field. But drafting him in the first round though, that's not. That's sort of an excuse, but when you draft in the first round, a lot of times you've already made those decisions. Is this guy better than what we have here? Can we plug him in and play? Because if you're not plugging in a guy, unless it's a quarterback that you're just deciding to take there, but if it's a defensive tackle, most of the time, any position you draft in the first round, it's a guy that could step right in and play, and he hasn't been able to do that just yet. So I think there's probably some. Not concerned, but I bet you there's some people in the building that thought he was a little further along in his development, but he's still working at it, and he's did a nice job yesterday. So that's encouraging for him. Let's go to Dylan in Northport, Florida.
Hey Nick, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you doing, Dylan?
I'm good, dude. Just put us in the Super Bowl. That's it.
Super Bowl. All right.
We're going.
That's
yeah, no. Just a couple quick things, and I got to run. Michael Gallup, that game he had was kind of a synopsis of what you always say about him, dude. It's like you think he's going away, He's getting, his reps taken away by like Jalen Brooks, which was cool to see him play. But he's getting reps taken from him. Balls are going to Cooks, which was nice, a nice change. And then all of a sudden, Gallup comes out of nowhere, has that big touchdown catch, which wasn't an easy catch, and that one later on, which wasn't an easy catch either. And that's classic Michael Gallup catches. That's the stuff he can do for you. So good to see that.
Right.
And the Deron Bland, dude, this guy, like, his interceptions aren't always the easiest interceptions. Like, he doesn't lose a contested fight on a football, it seems like. Like, he's the guy that's going to wrestle it away. And the advantage goes to the offense in those situations, obviously, because if it's a tie ball, they get it. It's never a tie ball with that guy. That guy just, he grabs it and takes it away, and it's beautiful to see.
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
sure.
yeah, man, that's all I got for you. Got to run. But take care and have a good day.
Okay. So thanks, Dylan, for squeezing us in your schedule here. You're so busy. I appreciate that. He's right though. Deron Bland. I mean, he goes and gets the football. Both those two guys, Gallup and Bland, both those plays were kind of the same deep ball. It's up in the air. It's a fight for it. The Gallup one was one where everybody was catching the ball, making plays, doing. It was a fun game. And I was sitting there next to Derek, and I said, "Is Gallup caught a pass?" And he said, "No, he hasn't even been targeted." And I was like, "Oh." And I was just looking at him, balls at the 41, and I was like, "He's getting one right here. Right here. Everybody else is getting one. He's getting one." I didn't think it was going to be a deep ball for a touchdown. I didn't say that. I just said, he's getting the ball right here. And so he did, made the catch, and then he made another one down the sideline too. So, that's the thing. The good thing about Gallup and Cooks, and I'll say this, hold on, let me go to a text question here from Carl in Nashville. It says, great win. Question, what did you see different that made Cooks and Gallup explode? Thank you. So talking about both of them, my point that I was going to say is that their attitude about not getting the football sometimes and being, just kind of knowing their role is very valuable to have. You do want the receivers to be a dog and want the football and all that stuff, and that's what CD obviously, was barking for the ball, and he's getting it now and all this stuff. And Cooks and Gallup, their moments it took a little bit of time, but you never really heard anything. And that's important because you can't have everybody in the room, wanting the football all the time. So there's a sweet spot there of wanting that receiver to want the ball, but at the same time, be respectful. Don't cause waves and all that. So I applaud both of those guys. What happened yesterday? I just think, CD's getting some extra attention, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, he's beating those double teams as well. But the key for these guys is that how valuable they are in the offense and understanding different positions. They don't just play on the outside. They play the inside. They'll play the X. They'll play the Z. They'll play all across the field, and that's really good because then you can't pigeonhole of where these guys are going to be. You've seen Gallup in the slot. You've seen Cooks, of course, and CD. So the fact that they understand where they're supposed to be, you've got veteran receivers out there that can play very versatile, spots on the field. That's valuable, and I think we saw that in that game because they kind of moved him around a lot. You saw Cooks making plays from all different spots. Gallup was more on the outside, but he's a guy that's never been afraid to make a tough catch, make on the sideline, and he'll fight for it. So he's he's kind of buying his time a little bit, but he's done a nice job, and I applaud him for the game that he had yesterday. All right. Let's go to Robbie in Florida. Robbie, what's up?
What's up?
How you doing?
It's always a good day when we win, right?
Definitely a good one when we win.
Hey, man, I know I say it all the time, every time I call in, but really appreciate what you and Derek have put together for our team, man.
Thank you.
It gives our fans a chance to speak, and it's outstanding, bro.
I appreciate it. I have a lot of fun with it, and I hope you guys do as well, especially on games like today.
Yes, sir. My only concern, it was a great win, obviously, but is our run game going to get a little bit? Rico looked good.
Yeah. Well,
Tony looks good, but do we still need that 1-2 punch with Zeke and Tony, like it was?
Well, here's the thing: 79 and 55. That's not. Is that a 1-2 punch? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: if you might want a little bit more yards there, but don't forget, when Zeke and Pollard were doing their things, they didn't have two guys with 150 on the outside. I mean, you talk about a 400-yard passing game from your quarterback and then 168 rushing yards. I mean, at a 5.1 yard clip, I'm fine with that. I mean, yeah, I think that there's going to be some games where you can't throw the ball as much. You're going to have to rely on the run a little bit more than that. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, but in this particular game, I think it was a very sound effort for them, and I think they ran the wrong guy there at the goal line in the first drive of the game. I think Dowdle deserved to be out there, not just because he's a bigger guy. I think he deserved to be out there in that drive. You can leave him in there and go get him a touchdown. All right. Thanks for the call, Robbie. I thought I might have one more thing to say, but that's fine. We're going to go let me go to Aaron in Youngstown, Ohio, then we'll go to break. Aaron, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So just a couple takeaways that I had from this game. Number one is Dak Prescott is an MVP candidate right now, and I don't think anybody can come away these last few weeks and say that he's not. With the slow start that he had and this offense had to where he is now 7th in yards, 3rd in touchdowns, and third in both QBR and quarterback rating. It's kind of unbelievable that the heater that he is on, and just can only imagine what his numbers would look like if McCarthy wouldn't have waited this long to kind of just let him cut loose, just let him do his thing. So it's just great kind of seeing him just kind of being on this heater. And then CeeDee Lamb, I think CeeDee has officially reached the status where he can now get the subliminal tweets from you that just say I'm better than you that Dez used to get. Because I mean, after he made that one-headed catch last night, that was the first thing I thought of was, that's a Nick Eatman. I'm better than you.
I'm better
right
than
there.
you. That's right.
He has been better than pretty much anyone. And I mean, it's Tyreek, AJ Brown, and then now him just being almost to 1,000 yards. It's just unbelievable what he's been doing. And I know that good teams are supposed to beat bad teams. I get that, but good teams are not supposed to completely obliterate teams the way this Cowboys team is. Because I know that you want to be able to beat good teams, but if you're playing a team that is that undermanned and that overmatched, you don't just want to beat them. You want to beat them down. And the fact that they're able to beat these teams down the way they are, it just shows you how much better they are than so many teams in this league. And even though they lost last week, I mean, we all said that we took away some positives from that game, and definitely those positives were still there because this team is not slowing down. Dak and CD are not slowing down. Deron Bland's not slowing down. So, I mean, this team is just – these next few weeks is kind of get on a little bit of a roll to go back into that Eagles rematch. I mean, they're going to be sitting right in the thick of it, and especially the way San Francisco looked yesterday. They're still a very good team, and Philly's still got to play them. So, I mean, it's still all up in the air right now. The only negative that I take away from that game is I know Parsons likes to get sacks, but I just hate his body language when he doesn't have any sacks in the game. You could just tell that even though we were winning and the game was out of hand and the defense was dominating, you could still see that he was not happy because he wasn't getting his numbers, which, I mean, I get that. You want to stat pad when you're seeing Watt and Garrett and all them kind of getting sacks and kind of starting to pull away from you a little bit, but you can't really show yourself being that frustrated with it. So that was the only real negative that I saw in that game yesterday was just his body language. But I mean, it'll be all right. He'll get past that. I get that he wants to be great every week, but I got a couple random Cowboys for you. So my two randoms that they were kind of a flash in the pan was Patrick Jeffers and Brian McCann. Both of them guys didn't really do much, but the time that they were on the field, they had some splash plays, especially McCann with the 101-yard interception return. Then he followed it up the next week with a 97-yard punt return, and then he just kind of was never heard from again.
Right.
So, I mean, those are my two random guys for you. So, thanks for taking my call.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. A lot of good stuff there. Brian McCann, you're right. I mean, he had the huge interception for a touchdown. That was Garrett's first game as head coach after they had fired Wade Phillips 2010, and he had a big play. And then the next week, you're right. And the best part about that play against Detroit, I remember special teams coach Joe DeCamillis was so happy with him because he wasn't just a punt returner. It wasn't like he was the returner. He was not the punt returner there. I don't remember who it was, but it might have been Creighton. Nah, maybe he'd already been gone. But there was another punt returner, and the ball had bounced. The Detroit had knocked the ball backwards to save it, to try to pin them in. So they'd already touched the ball. So he knew that he could go and grab the football. Even if he fumbled, it wouldn't matter. They would still have it. That's the rule. So he knew Detroit had touched it. They knocked it backwards. He caught it on the fly and took it to the house 97 yards. And so that was an unbelievable play. I bet you that's a record for a player that's had 2 97-yard touchdowns or longer in back-to-back games. That's pretty impressive there. Jeffers, I just know he caught a touchdown against the Vikings in that Randy Moss game, but, I mean, he didn't catch 3 like Moss did. One more point I'd make, he said he put CD in the category with Tyreek and A.J. Brown, and I'm fine with that. Do you know what all of those guys have in common? Is look at the other side. You know, there's production there. There's either first round pick or 1,000-yard receiver or both. You know, you've got Brandon Cooks on the other side of CD, and I think that really helps. I think Devontae Smith helps A.J. Brown. I think, you know, Waddle helps Tyreek. These are great players, but you know, and both of those guys, Brown and Tyreek, have done it in 2 different systems. So they are great players. But I think having another receiver on the other side, you know, really does help. Let's go to break real quick. We'll come right back on Cowboys Storyline.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't-stop-banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, welcome back, Cowboys Storyline here. Got a few more minutes to go. We got some a couple callers on the line. It's not a, I would say it's not a real show. We've had some shows, but it turns up a notch a little bit when we get Rob in Vegas. So let's do this.
Nick, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but I can't even have anything negative.
You got nothing? You got nothing?
I mean, it was domination. It was great.
That right there, that's a win. Then it was a complete win. Then
right, it was a.
If Rob in Vegas got nothing for this team, are you okay? Are you feeling okay?
Right, and I got to give some love to Mike McCarthy, and I'm glad he listens to your show because. We talked about how, maybe we should get Rico Dowdle involved. He looks a little more explosive, and there you go. We talked about how we didn't think it was the best idea to blow up the whole Kellen Moore offense, just tweak it. And I think ever since the 49er game, he looked at himself in the mirror, and he made some changes, and it's working out great. Dak is playing the best he's ever played. You got the rookie Dak running with the experience of him playing quarterback and throwing. He looks fantastic. And now I just need Dak to channel his inner Bobby Boucher from the Waterboy. And every time he sees the 49ers, he sees them wearing New York Giant uniforms.
Okay.
because
Love it.
there's something about the Giants. I don't know what they did to him as a rookie.
They beat him twice.
And he just owns them. But it was great. They got, you knew they were going to get, I mean, I'm not a big fantasy football guy because I'm terrible at it because the whole team of Cowboys, because I can't root for nobody else. But you knew they were going to get Cooks the ball because when they start talking about this guy may be disgruntled, they feed him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great. And they would just, listen, it was just a great thing. And I got to give a shout-out to the fans. The fans at AT&T for years, I thought, were way too quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have much of a home field. But now that place is rocking. You know, I play it on the TV. I play it loud. I got surround. And you could just hear it. And, hey, what is it, 12 in a row now at home or something?
12 in a row.
I mean, it's just awesome. And I know it's the Giants, but I don't care. When you beat somebody out there, these guys get paid too.
That, you know what? That's even more of the point about the fans. Yeah, it's the Giants, okay, but they didn't care. I mean, the fans didn't care. They brought the energy like it was a playoff atmosphere. I give them credit for that. They have really turned things around, and they have made it. You know, credit the Cowboys organization, their entertainment. You know, all of that. They it's a really, really good place. I have a question for you though, Rob, because you talked about these offensive players maybe wanting the ball a little bit more, so you feed them. So how do you feed defensive players? Maybe you got defensive guys that want to be freed up a little bit, if you will. How do you feed those guys?
Well, I thought they were very conservative with Micah Parsons. He was playing a lot more linebacker, and I agree with the last caller. I don't like his body language when it's not going good. It's a team sport, Micah. I want to see you get sacks because that's better for everybody.
Sure.
But you got to cheer on your fellow players too. And I just thought it was one of the games I think they were having him key on Saquon Barkley because, let's face it, that's all the Giants really had. And he was playing linebacker more. I think they do a great job with him, moving him around. They just didn't do it that game.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I like that they rushed Fowler more. I think he's really good at that. I like that they played Williams more. You know, he's a good pass rusher. So Micah Parsons, listen, this works out better for him. If these other guys pick it up,
right,
you're going to get. I'm not saying less attention, but you'll probably do better off. But I need him to, smile and jump around and enjoy the win, not just the sacks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for the call, Rob, as always. And you're right. I mean, it's concerning a little bit. I mean, you just want to see him. That's part of the maturity of it. And Sam Williams a few weeks ago was kind of the same way. And I know they both have tweeted some stuff out. And you want them to see the big picture of things. Is that because Micah has had great moments and he's tough to block. You cannot block him one-on-one. Teams study. They know this. They're not going to let him go off like that. And then the other guys make their plays. I always go back to guys like the Colts back in the day. I mean, Dwight Freeney, as great as Dwight Freeney was, they had a guy named Mathis on the other side that also I think had 100 career sacks too. You can't just block everyone. So credit the guys like Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler for taking advantage of the fact that, hey, we're going to get opportunities here. You keep doing that, you keep making sacks like that, and then teams are going to say, all right, we got to make sure that, we can't let this happen. And then Micah gets his plays as well. It's just this seesaw thing, and hopefully they can see it that way, but it doesn't sound like they do all the time. All right, let's go to Jeremy in Colorado. I think we got a first-time caller.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. Big fan of you, and obviously the Cowboys.
Thanks, Jeremy.
I just had a question about the jerseys. Why don't they ever get like these dope silver jerseys?
Dope silver,
like all silver, matching the helmet.
Well, do you think they would sell them in the pro shop if they did?
Absolutely.
Well, then I don't know why they don't then, because I don't know. I'm not sure, because We know, they're going to sell jerseys here. I don't know. I don't know why we hadn't seen it all silver.
They're so traditional.
Yeah.
They always keep the same jerseys every year. And, I'm 40, so I've seen a lot. But
though, I mean, I'll say this, though. They as traditional as they are, the last 5 or 6 years, I mean, think about it, though. They'll throw some alternate stuff at you. They'll wear blue at home. Oh, my God, blue at home. I mean, like, they do that. So they switch it up a little. I don't know if I don't know about the silver look, but I mean, if they thought it would work, they could sell jerseys on it and it would look good. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'd like to see some navy pants with the silver stripe when they wear navy. I'd like to see that, but I mean, I don't know if we ever will. But yeah, I mean, mix it up every now and then. I wouldn't roll anything out, honestly.
Cool. And before I go, I just wanted to say, why won't they, in the goal line, and especially in a game like last night, run the ball? And also, yesterday would have been a great flea flicker for you too. And I'll go and I'll listen to you online.
It's funny you say that, and I don't say this all the time. Thank you for the call, Jeremy. Thank you for the call for the first time. Welcome to the show. But I actually said that they're on the 20-yard line, backed up. I don't remember the score. I think it was third quarter. No, it was. I don't remember what quarter it was, but I said to Derek, I said, this would be a good job for a flea flicker right now. And he was like, have they ever run it? I mean, and all the time you've been here, they run. I was like, yes, twice. I think Kellen Moore did it a couple years ago. It did not work. It did not. They threw it out of bounds, whatever. But they have done it once with way back in 2005, Bledsoe. Barber flipped it back to Bledsoe to Terry Glenn, wide open touchdown against the Chiefs. So, yeah, it does work, and I would do it all the time. All right, Josh in Chicago. What's up, Josh?
Yes, sir. So I'm going to try to talk quick, but first-time caller, long-time listener.
Another first-timer. Boom. You guys are rolling.
And yes, sir, and I've been listening for 10-plus years, so love you guys, love what you do.
Right.
Mr. Eagleton over there, I think, does a great job. So,
Mr. Eagleton does a good job.
Last week I texted in about the wrestlers, so I'll give you mine as Shawn Michaels.
All right.
And then, I hope you get to see the documentary. My Cowboys player, too, is Doug Free. I grew up in DeKalb, Illinois, so I love Doug Free.
Doug Free. Like it. Yeah. Good player.
I still don't know why in that playoff game in 2010 they didn't go back to him instead of Colombo. Colombo's obviously a legend and awesome, but I thought Free just looked well for those 7 games.
Yeah. You forgot
what I'll say about this team is, I think they got everything they need to win. It's just a mental thing. I think they're a good team, obviously, but they just got to get it right upstairs when they play these big teams like the Eagles and the 49ers, and they'll do just fine.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And sometimes you don't think you can do it until you do it. So, they got to go be. I hear baby crying.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got a kid.
Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. Chris just cut him off. He's like, "Oh, I got 2 kids too." It's like, cut him off. No, thanks for the call. And I'm mental aspect of it. I think they can help themselves obviously by beating the Eagles. That would help just in general. But winning that game, if you can go beat the Eagles, you might have to play them again in Philly. Who knows? But I think from a standpoint of we can dominate these other teams. We need to show we can win some of these other games. This would be big. I'm not sure if they've beaten a team with a winning record. The Chargers and then the Jets are kind of flirting with 500. I'm not sure where they are. Chargers lost yesterday. Jets lost yesterday. I don't know if the Cowboys have beaten a team with a winning record, but you know what? It's not their problem. I mean, that doesn't matter. This isn't college football. You're not voting for to be in the playoff. You just get in the playoff by winning the games. But yeah, it would be nice that from mentally and from the fans' perspective to be able to do that. All right. Do I really have 3 first-time callers in a row? Alan in Richmond, Virginia?
Yes, sir.
What is up, man?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Can I start off by saying this?
Yes, you can. Start off.
The Eagles are the most obnoxious, arrogant, hypocritical fan base there is. They're all over Twitter saying, "Oh, it was just the Giants." My rebuttal to them: you beat the Giants the way we did this season, then come back and talk.
They might. They really might. But
first. I need to see it first.
Well, hold on, though. Just breaking news here. Eagles fans are annoying you. They're showing that they're not very classy. I mean, what are we shocked here? I mean, what are we doing here? Are we surprised?
No, we're not.
I mean,
we're not.
Come on. They didn't play a game. That's what what are they gonna do? You know? I mean, I don't know this. Do Cowboy fans, when they're on the bye week, do they sit there and just they go all over what are the Eagles doing and stuff like that? I don't know. I don't think so. But I mean, the Eagles.
I'm not sitting around waiting to watch an Eagle game.
No.
Most of the time. Now, these next 3 games, I'm going to watch because I got a feeling they can lose at least 2 of those 3.
Well, let's see. Let's see. I mean, I think they're a really good team, and I don't think they're going to just follow. I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and that'll be an interesting game. You know, I mean, it'll be fun to watch. I mean, they're good. There's no doubt about it. They don't have a lot of weaknesses. They're good. That's why I think.
No, that secondary is weak.
We don't have a lot of weaknesses. That's what I'm saying.
Sam Howell torched that secondary twice this season. We torched that secondary. That is the weakness of the Eagles.
Yeah.
You can pass that pass rush, you can throw the ball down the field on them.
No.
Am I correct?
You're correct. You're definitely correct. I mean, if you could stop Michael Jordan, you beat the Bulls. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
a bad comparison now.
Well, I'm just saying that if you stop their pass rush, I mean that pass rush is pretty lethal. I mean, they were really, really good. I mean, really good. So they can have a secondary like that. All right, we got to go. You got a question? You got another question?
No, I'm good. I appreciate it.
You sure?
Time.
Thank you for the call, though. It was great to end the show like that. This was a great show of mixture. We got some guys that have been calling. Joe and Stanford, Brian. I mean, of course, Rob, Vegas, Sebastian, Anthony, Dylan. I mean, these guys calling all the time. But also great to have some new callers in there at the end with Jeremy, Josh, Allen. Good stuff. The winner of the state challenge was Florida. Florida had the most in this one as well. A lot of callers from Florida. All right. Good stuff, guys. Appreciate that. We had a great show. Thank you to Chris Beam. Stay with us here on Cowboys. Break will be coming up here. I'm sure they got a lot of things to talk about with this one. So for Chris, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?